Oh boy, we got a lot to break down. Okay, first of all, where's the Blood Knight? I see that as a very common conversation. Also, the US patch notes missed a bunch of stuff that's coming to the game literally tomorrow that's not even in the patch notes. Really cool stuff. So we're going to be talking about that as well. Before we actually break it down and get into all of this, tomorrow, today's the 13th when I'm uploading. Tomorrow is the 14th and the game is arriving. I will be streaming 1 to 5 p.m. EST on twitch.tv/DarthMicrotransaction. I have purposely tanked my server Paragon and I am waiting. So we are going to see what 250% drop rate increase actually ends up looking like in the game. We will be grinding a full 4 hours and just find out exactly what we can get out of it. If you're interested in seeing that, please do join us. Now let's get going talking about the Blood Knight and what they missed out of the patch. If you type in Blood Knight and search it, you're going to see multiple videos from me talking about the Blood Knight. We even have a breakdown of abilities showing exactly what kind of moves he's coming to the game. I predict that he's going to be an intelligence-based summoner / range / melee type of class. There's things like the Bloodbath and all kinds of cool looking abilities. We desperately want to see a new class in the game, and I'm seeing that in the comments of people saying things like, I was really hoping there was going to be a new class this update. So was I, everybody. Keep in mind, none of the Blood Knight release information, none of it is official. The only thing we have is data mines. This goes all the way back to the beta that I wasn't even in from wowhead.com, was the first person to actually data mine the Blood Knight and show that there's an ability list as well as the Blood Knight himself is in the game files. This was later confirmed by the data miner who started sending information off Twitter, etc. that I've covered that showed that the Blood Knight files seemed to not only be in the game, but there was something going on with them, including a countdown to the Blood Knight that was supposed to start on December 14th. None of that information is 100% official stuff. It's, in fact, it's 0% official. The only thing it is speculation from somebody that's pulling through the codes. That's not to demean the speculation and the work from the data miner. The guy is pretty legit and puts out a ton of information. In fact, he guessed all of the stuff correctly, including the Paragon trees. We have images, breakdown of the text, everything that I have shown as well on this channel. All of that a month in advance. We had almost 2 months in advance the fact that the Hell 6 difficulty is coming, etc. But data mines are never 100%. This is why every time I come out with a data mine video, I have specifically put the disclaimer saying this is speculation. It's not 100%. He's accurate with a lot of this stuff, but it doesn't mean he's accurate with all of it. I do, if you're asking me personally here again, I do believe the Blood Knight is coming to the game. It's just not coming tomorrow. I think maybe it'll be here in January, hopefully in time for my birthday in January. Now, let's move on to something more hilarious. They left a ton of stuff out in the USA notes. The China patch notes dropped, and they have other things in the game. They say set item upgrading max level to 15. Legendary item upgrading a max level of 30. You get a 4th and 5th family bonus row at rank 21 and 26 now. That is actually insane, in case you didn't know. A 4th and 5th row is crazy because what that allows you to do is now get family set bonus, but still be able to get the good ones. Let's say that you wanted, oh, I don't know, the Hydras. So you went and you did the Wildfire, and now you have the Hydra bonus, but what you also wanted was increase your summoner damage and increase your attack speed. Well, now you can also row those also. So this also gives major incentive for people who are upgrading their gear and getting things like enchanted dust. This is actually a pretty major thing to be left out of the patch notes because it's going to be a pretty big incentive to do a lot of grinding. This right here is a pretty big one. It looks like everyone in the warband can choose their own buff type and remnant set now. This is massive because previously in the warband, the leader's got to go and do this all, and you can be like a second-class citizen in your own warband, and basically it is a social totem pole of, hey, the shitter gets the bad one. That's basically what ends up happening, and it makes people feel bad. So now apparently you can set your own, which for me is a W. I'm going to pick through the Chinese notes translated right now and see what else I can find that maybe didn't get translated to the US patch. Dude, there's actually like a ton of stuff they didn't talk about literally at all in the patch, and it's I'm struggling to get through all of this. There's balance adjustments. I mean, look at this. When we realize that combat level plays an overly strong role in the game, while entry collection affections are weak, which is not in line with our initial design. Therefore, we have partially adjusted the curve of the combat level buff. Now, when the combat level exceeds the enemy, the buff received due to the combat level will be reduced. In the future, we will also moderately enhance the effect of legendary entries so that everyone can gain more fun when trying different skill combinations. I mean, that sounds to me like they're changing the combat rating. Dude, they also are adjusting Hell 1 through Hell 5, the combat rating basically in the difficulty of this as well. This is completely new. Slightly reduce the probability of refining amulets to produce low attribute items, and corresponding slightly to increase the probability of refining amulets to produce high attribute items, aka your amulet drop rate in terms of how exceptional it's going to be is a higher rate now. I mean, picking through this, there's a lot that's just not in the US patch. We go to the US notes and type in amulet. There's literally nothing. If we type in neck, maybe is there anything? There's nothing, dude. There's just a lot of info that's just not in here. There's an entire event that's not even mentioned. This is on December 22nd. Looks like legendary quest equipments and legendary gems are going to be the reward. Yep, and here's the whole part that didn't make it to the US patch notes, talking about being able to increase in the blacksmith the pieces of gear. We broke down this already, but I mean, that's a pretty big piece to miss. Instead of just breaking all this down in broken English and trying to figure it all out, I'm just going to wait till tomorrow and actually see what's going in the game. I see things like a new teleport waypoints have been added to the game right next to like the Echo of Caverns and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. So there is more things coming to the game that were not in the US patch notes that we're probably going to have to dig around and find out for ourselves. I couldn't tell you why exactly there's a discrepancy between the Chinese notes and how often they're coming out versus the US ones. I have no idea what's going on with that at all. It's not really necessarily a giant complaint, and I'm more curious as to whether or not the Chinese server is the same as the US server. Like, are they only getting these and we aren't getting these? I'm assuming it's just these people forgot to add it into the patch notes. Never mind. Looks like they did actually add the waypoint 1 in the patch, so scratch that one. Look at this here. Charms. Increase the chance to roll a 10% modifier while imbuing charms. So this is something I don't know if I caught in the previous one, but effectively a 10% modifier is, I mean, that's absolutely insane. It's like getting a 5 out of 5 legendary gem. We don't know what the chances are in these charms, but they're increasing the chance to roll the 10%, which I think the whole charm system needs. We either need to get like 50 times the amount of charms as we do right now because it takes so many and it takes platinum and all of that, or the charm system needs to be reworked in its entirety. All that being said, I'm actually really excited for this patch. I think this patch is going to be a lot of fun. Some people mentioned that this is a Krampus skin, and I totally missed out on that. To be honest, I don't even know what, like, I don't even think I've seen a Krampus thing. I've never really heard of it. I'm a really big Christmas guy. I mean, I have my Christmas tree behind me here if I actually show you. Christmas is like my favorite time of the year, and I've heard Krampus is like an evil Santa, like reverse world Santa or something. I don't really know. I thought that was the Grinch back in the day, but you know, this guy found a couple more that I didn't find. The Purge relics are increased from 4 to 9 in each area. Demon gates are only on Monday. All chat channels can be used in the battleground. Friend online reminder. I mean, there's actually like kind of a lot of stuff that they missed in the English patch. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really know what's happening with that, to be honest with you. It does kind of, I mean, look, I'm just fully honest. It does make us feel a little bit, or at least me, in my opinion, like the US players are kind of second-class citizens to the Chinese patch notes. They had 3 hype ones hyping up the patch, and then a full patch notes that actually covered literally everything. So I'm not trying to like complain and be negative and all that, but like I would like to see going forward. This is literally the largest major update that they've had at all, is what they're saying, and we're missing like a third of the stuff in the English-speaking patch notes. So going towards the future, that probably needs to be resolved. With that being said, I will be live streaming this update, twitch.tv/Darth Microtransaction. This will be, again, 1 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. I will see you there, please.